Hiya, Finnegan here, and I'm at the Asylum venue in Birmingham ready to talk to the Nocturnal Affair for RockShot Magazine. We're going to be talking to Brendan Shane about all things metal and gothic. Come on, let's go. Hiya, I'm Finnegan. I'm with RockShot Magazine, and I'm here at Asylum venue in Birmingham with Nocturnal Affair, or the Nocturnal Affair, should I say. And sitting with us here, we have Brendan Shane, the singer-songwriter.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fantastic. But how's the UK? You've only been, was it 2 days into the tour?
It's like coming home. We love it here. Yeah, this is show 2. This is day 3 or 4. And it's a blast.
So I heard you've managed to go out and experience some haunted buildings as well as see some of Birmingham that you're in today.
So I kind of Anthony Bourdained it as well. So we started in Buckley, at Tivoli, and that was very haunted theater. Unfortunately, I guess the ghost touring wasn't happening because the concert was happening. But I met some strangers who offered me candy, and I got into their van after the show. No, I met some really cool people that invited me to dinner in Chester afterwards. And following that dinner, they gave me a little bit of a ghost tour of Chester around the different cathedrals. I even went to the Marlborough Bar,
Nice.
Which has an extra RO in the sign, because the story is the man that was hired to create the sign was spooked by the ghost in the bar. So he tried to hurry up and finish his job, and while doing so, accidentally added an extra RO to Marlborough. So it's not Marlborough, it's like Marlborough Row, which is I guess a better story than saying, "Oh no, the sound guy got too drunk while making a sign for the bar."
At least it's sign making. But
Yeah.
well, it sounds like you're having the true kind of British experience. But let's kind of go back to Nocturnal Affairs.
Sure, right?
Starts,
Yeah,
the first,
I can talk about ghosts all day.
We can do a completely different
Yeah.
interview on that one, couldn't we? But so you started Nocturnal Affair, in Vegas, as a kind of a single project, was it? And then you kind of blew it up into what it is now, and you've kind of gone from touring with Fozzy, and now you're on with Wednesday 13 and Drowning Pool on this tour. Is it kind of the same kind of shift that you built originally? Are you feeling it change, or are you kind of happy with its direction?
This is always growing into something I never thought it would be before. This originally started as something fun for me to kind of let go and do whatever I wanted, compared to the other project I was in at the time. I was in a project where everybody kind of had an equal voice, and no offense to the other guys, because they're lovely, and some of them are pursuing music to this day and doing very well, but I was very uncomfortable with my career being the responsibility of my career belonging to somebody else, in a sense of I'm only going to get as far as they work, right?
Yeah, 100%.
However hard they work is how far I'm going to get, and I don't have any control past that. So I kind of started doing this thing as a joke to kind of, release some stress. And I was going through heartbreak. Drew was going through heartbreak. And we kind of started like a little joke goth rock band called The Feels. And it was anonymous. And eventually the local radio station was playing us every Sunday. And we ended up getting a show at the House of Blues that was like a sold out corporate event. And the reception we got from this show was insane. So we kind of figured we had something. We started this and had to change the name, and we became the Nocturnal Affair in 2017. And that's what kind of things I was like, all right, maybe I'll take myself a little more seriously when it comes to songwriting, right? Writing what I actually feel, and putting a little more truth into the lyrics.
It's kind of a different ball game when you're actually surrounded by people who put as much energy into something that as you do.
Well, at this point, I have a team that I have to bust my ass so I can keep up with them. And I'm so grateful for that, because they've made me a better man, a better musician, a better businessman, all around.
That's fantastic to hear. So do you think, being based in Vegas, does that affect the sound? Do you think that's kind of like fed into how it's crafted, or are you kind of influenced like from globally, from all over the world, from different kind of bands and artists?
Kind of influenced globally. Vegas, I don't know if it has an effect. in the sense of like that whole thing I know Dave Grohl did by traveling to different cities and seeing, you know, what effect they had on his songwriting. Because Cross Me Out wasn't written in Vegas. Cross Me Out was written in Atlanta. So um, I pull my influences from everywhere.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the name change there. Was there a reason for the Nocturnal Affair? Is there a hidden story behind that, or is there one that you tell everybody?
Oh, there's a story. There's a story. So yeah, we were the Feels as a joke because it was, you know, dark rock / goth music. Like, oh, this music got me right in the feels, like the meme that was very popular at the time in the mid 2010s. And at one point, we got management, and they said there is like 50 other bands in America with the name The Feels, so you need something original. And me and Drew were rehearsing with the old lineup of the band one night in the same practice space that I would practice with my metal band. And my metal band didn't know that I was practicing with the Nocturnal Affair. So one night we're rehearsing, and the guitar player and bass player from the other band decided to stop by the studio to smoke a joint. And they walked in on us rehearsing, and they acted like they walked in. It was like I got caught having an affair. It's like I got caught cheating. And it didn't stop there. After that came the, well, why don't you just play these songs with us? Like, what's wrong with us? Do you like them better? Do you like them more? Are they better players than us? Do you enjoy them more? That it was like I was being, you know, getting the third degree from, you know, my girlfriend. So it became the Nocturnal Affair.
But that's where obviously it was evident that you was kind of almost your emotional need was getting rewarded somewhere else. And
Yes.
which
Yeah.
kind of gives the weight so much more to that,
Yeah.
that title. Your music obviously has a cinematic and haunted quality to it, which also, as you mentioned, feels a lot more personal. You know, tracks like A Thousand Ways to Die, you know, they're heavy, but they have an intimacy to it.
Yes.
Does the contrast come naturally to you? Is it something that you had to work to kind of combine those things, or is it just a natural flow with you guys?
Well, A Thousand Ways to Die is an interesting track to bring up when it comes to comparing it to other tracks from that record. When I brought that record to my producer and engineer at the time, Lauren from a band called Once Human was living in the house we were recording in, and she heard that track, and it was a completely different song at the time. And she texted the engineer as we were recording it and went, I think there's an opportunity for a top line in here and a subject matter that isn't being used. And so we put our heads together, and Lauren actually co-wrote Thousand Ways to Die with me. And it really changed my outlook on songwriting as it happened, because I've always written a little more left field of things. I've been very influenced by Radiohead and Nine Inch Nails and various other bands that don't do a lot of the, you know, A, B, C, B songwriting technique, if that makes sense, right? Verse, chorus, second verse, chorus, you know, whatever. And I've always kind of gone to the beat of my own drum. And working with her, working with Logan Mader, working with John Moyer, they've really helped me hone my craft to do something that's at least accessible to more people, all while being able to express myself in a way that I'm really happy with the product.
Yeah, so you still have that intimacy, but then it's open enough to connect with your audience.
Exactly. It's like learning another language, right? Being able to talk about how I feel, but also other people can now understand it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's why your music is resonating with the audiences. That right now there's a big line forming outside, queuing to get in here with a couple of you know, Nocturnal Affair kind of merch on it. So it's obviously connecting. But you've obviously been compared, and I think you compared yourself to, you know, A Perfect Circle and him and other bands and stuff. Are there other bands that you kind of pull that face maybe being compared to?
I wouldn't say I have compared myself to them. We've been compared to them. For me to compare myself to them seems very pompous because they are extremely talented. But if we've been compared to them,
yeah, I've got a humble response. But yeah, but you have been compared to them. Do you think are there certain bands that you kind of like, when you do get compared to them, you kind of want to shy away from that, or is there bands that you kind of like feel that you would be well fitting to be on a tour with them across Europe?
Well, when we started, we were compared to Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch a lot because of my voice, because I'm a baritone. And when we started, I was actually more influenced by him, Typo Negative, Sisters of Mercy, 69 Eyes, Johnny Cash, all that other, you know, lower vocal stuff. And I kind of realized over time, and there's nothing wrong with Disturbed. I love Disturbed. There's nothing wrong with Five Finger Death Punch. I love Five Finger Death Punch. Some people may say that they're too mainstream based upon what they like or what they don't like, but they're successful for a reason. Very, very talented, very, very just hardworking, awesome dudes. And I've discovered when somebody compares you to another band while they're enjoying your music, it's the biggest compliment you can ask for, because they're seeing similarities in things that they love. So now, I don't mean to slap the microphone, but they're seeing similarities in things that they love, and that's the greatest gift you could ask for.
I suppose they're trying to reach out to stuff that exists already, especially
Yeah.
with new bands like yourself combining different genres. There might not be that exact genre out there to describe your music. So, and going on that about fans, there's something I've been talking to recently with a couple of festivals and stuff, and talking about how music is more than the music to some of these fans, and it's actually it's catharsis. It's something that kind of helps them connect emotionally with the person. And your fans seem to get that from watching live performances of you perform to your crowd and stuff. They seem really in tune with your music, and it feels more more than the words on the page. I would say. Do you feel you have a responsibility there to create something that connects with your audience?
I feel like once I start believing I have a responsibility to do something a specific way is when I start trying too hard. Um, I think it's more important to focus on doing what I love and hoping it resonates with the people it resonates with. And if it does, it's fantastic. Like, welcome to the family. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. You know, nobody should be forced to like something or not like something. So
yeah, it's a true and honest way to kind of play the music. Still getting the honesty there. But let's go on to your latest tracks. You already mentioned "Cross Me Out," and so a great fun video as well, a music video there, and it still has that signature darkness. But you're talking about how you felt a bit raw. Your music was raw and stuff, and other bands get more polished. Your latest sounds a little bit more polished as well, a little bit more considered. And its sound. Is that something that you're deliberately doing, or do you think it's just a natural progression of you guys playing together and learning to kind of act as a group?
I think it's always the goal, depending on what you want out of your career. And I want to be able to do what I love and be comfortable. In a sense, I would love to be able to pay my bills with music. So sometimes you have to sacrifice that raw punk rock feel, have something a little more polished, but also there's ways to fit in the sound that you love, the songwriting that you love, and still express yourself in a way that resonates with the right people. I don't know, man. That's such an interesting subject because it depends on who you ask. You know, if you listen to somebody like A Perfect Circle or somebody like Tool, you know, with that, what song was it? Where he says, "I sold out before you ever knew my name," kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So my soul to make a record, and I think we're going to continue to evolve. I don't think we're always going to sound like how Cross Me Out sounded. I think we sounded like that in that period of time, and we're already moving forward and sounding different now with Benefit of Doubt and various other tracks I've recorded that we haven't released yet. So we're just going to keep going.
Well, you can kind of see that in your kind of library of tracks already, you know, and albums, going from, you know, the heavier kind of grittier songs to even the more fun covers that you've done, like, you know, What Is Love is a great kind of it shouldn't work on paper, but it so works. It so works, and it's a great track. But it's a great version that you've created there. You know, it still has that heaviness, but the poppier side as well. Obviously, you've also covered Depeche Mode as well in the past. Is there any other songs, you know, songs that shouldn't be covered that you'd really love to kind of cover in the future?
Yes.
We're not going to share those with us today, no.
Nope. Some I might have already recorded.
Yeah, so we look
I
forward
love
to that.
covers. I think it's like we were talking about before, when people feel like they're drawn to something familiar. It's important to help people feel comfortable, especially when they're spending the money that they're spending in times like these on a concert. You want to give them a great time. It is your job to entertain them. You are the soundtrack to their life. Their life is their movie, right? They are the main character. You want them to feel really good. So with these covers, it helps people feel a sense of familiarity, and even though they're seeing us for the first time, they're able to sing along with us by the end of the night.
Yeah, that's it's a great way to connect and bring in new fans as well. certainly for that. So what's next for you? You obviously got the European tour after you leave the UK. Will you come back here and do festivals? Do you think? Do you know download?
I mean, I would love
Or,
to.
yeah,
Yeah, I would never say no to that.
yeah. Is that something that's on the Nocturnal Affairs horizon? Do you think?
I don't know. I would hope so. I don't know how far the rabbit hole goes as far as upcoming shows. Um, just because if I do know that, that's all I'll focus on. Like, I think I just heard we're working on something in November. So we're 3 days into this tour. Now all I could think about is November. You know, we've got a sold out show tonight in Birmingham, and I'm like, so where am I going to be on Thanksgiving? Like, what's happening for the holidays? I can't. It's
Yeah.
I gotta focus on right now.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the only way of moving forward, especially when you're on a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you're playing in Birmingham tonight, and the recent news that globally hit, the new sad news of Ozzy Osbourne passing.
Yeah.
Now, Birmingham has become an explosion of love for not only Ozzy Osbourne, but the genre itself. Today, there was a mural held, a memorial, sorry, in the town with hundreds of thousands of people kind of traveling up just to remember him and the music that he crafted. Has Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne, influenced your music over the years?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know how else to say it other than yes, absolutely. And not only did they influence my music, but they influenced the bands that influenced me. They influenced the bands that influenced the other bands that eventually influenced me. You know what I mean? It's like they started it all.
Yeah, you can really hear it in your track down the Ozzy Osbourne's kind of
Really?
the bridge on that and the lead up to that is some clear Ozzy Osbourne inspired vocals. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but listening to your back catalogue again before this interview, it was really interesting kind of to see that kind of feed through. Maybe not all the way through the track, but it's kind of nice to see that kind of influence.
That's the first time I think anybody has compared me to Ozzy since I was in the metal band previous to this band. We had some demos, and a friend back home was like, "You sound like early Ozzy." Now I was in my early 20s, and my voice was a lot higher. I could sing a lot higher, but I'm a bit of a baritone.
As your music videos, they seem to have a strong narrative through them, and you seem to like having a narrative to your music videos and your storytelling, as you mentioned.
Mm.
Do you ever sorry, you also mentioned that Nine Inch Nails are kind of a possible influence, and Nine Inch Nails have recently done a film score. Would you ever see Nocturnal Affair doing a film score?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that to this day. I'm always writing. I'm either when I wake up in the morning, I eat, I go to the gym, I either write an intro or a chorus to something new, and if I can't even think of that, I'll put on one of my favorite shows on mute, and I'll just write something to that. So yeah, absolutely. As far as our music video goes, I'm glad you brought that up. Our recent videos, the narrative of those videos are actually not my idea. Benefit of doubt, cross me out. We have another one coming out called Deep. That's my management. My management had this idea. His name's Mark. He brought it to me, and he said, I don't need you to ask me any questions. I don't need you to give me any opinions. I need you to trust me. Come along for the ride. It's going to be a blast. And he explained to me how the videos were going to be shot and what Larry and his media team were going to do to edit them. And I just went, let's fucking go. Let's do it. What I mean? What's going to happen? Like, we're going to have fun, and then people are either going to judge it or they're going to love it, or I don't care. It was a blast. So,
yeah. Because there are some interesting choices in the music videos, but they obviously do kind of lift it off. Do you do you see yourself if that ever opportunity did arise to kind of do something a little bit more filmic and a little bit more you'd be right on there,
yeah.
So are there any other sort of bands that you kind of worked with that you'd kind of love to do a collab, maybe not a collaboration song, with kind of both of you on the same track, verse by verse? Would you ever be up for that? Would you ever kind of work with the artists that you're currently touring with? Do you ever?
That would be wonderful.
Have you ever thought about kind of approaching that, like with certain bands? Do you do that on stage with some of the bands that you kind of worked with in the past? Do you ever share the mic, as they tend to say?
Yeah, I have many different collaborations in mind. I would really like to work with David Gunn from King 810. I would really love to work with Chris Jericho. I mean, we toured with him time and time and time again, and his voice is fantastic. It's just so unique, and there's plenty of things I would love to either cover with him or just an original song with him and Rich Ward, who is one of the best guitar players I've ever seen play live and hear on a recording. It'd be really cool to do stuff with Wednesday 13. It'd be really cool to do stuff with, of course. I don't think I would ever say no to a collab with an artist that I respect and love.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's a reason that you love and respect them.
I mean, even to the experience that Halsey got with Nine Inch Nails, where they did an entire record with her. Oh my God. Yeah. I can't even imagine. You know what I mean? Like I think about that stuff all the time.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. So this is the was it day 2 of the tour, and you've obviously got the rest of the European tour. Is there a venue, a location that you really want to kind of lead up to? I don't know. You can be here in the in the States or here in the UK, or is there a place that you guys are planning to kind of slowly, that's it. When we play that venue, that's us. We've kind of, crossed that threshold.
Oh, like a dream kind of show. There's a couple for me. Whackin', Download. If Rock AM Ring is still a thing, it's all of that. I would love to play a Danny Wimmer Presents festival. We haven't done that yet. That's kind of the goal.
I can really see you guys connecting with.
Oh yeah. Huh? Oh, the Sphere. Oh, for sure, the Sphere, and even like to one day get the chance to play our hometown arena, T-Mobile Arena or Allegiant Stadium. I mean,
yeah.
There's some dreaming right there for you.
You have
some
to
goal
do that.
setting.
No, I can really see your sound resonating with the crowds at Download. The Download is kind of a different festival compared to other festivals. It's the crowds are just like one big sort of family. And I know it's a bit of a cliche to say that, but I've
been watching videos of Download since I was a kid. Yeah,
it's something else there. So I think you guys could really connect with the audience there. Now I know obviously you guys have got your show tonight, so we're short of time, but. Is there anything that you kind of want to say to your fans, or people at RockShot Magazine, or just people who are finding your music naturally through other venues? Is there anything you kind of want to get a shout out to those?
I would say, as we've met you and continue to meet you, thank you for being so kind to us, especially for the UK. Thank you for always being so welcoming to us. I don't know what we did to deserve it, but we are forever grateful, and we can't wait to meet everybody in Europe.
Amazing. Brendan, you've been fantastic, and I hope you have a fantastic show. I will be in the audience cheering and shouting along to you there. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing you on stage.
Thank you for having me.